And he got the job anyway. Classic. Welcome to the show, everyone. It's Talkback. Thane, Kirby, Rickard. We're here till it gets boring. Well, that's our show. Thanks for joining us. And we've got
I was actually this close. Like, I obviously haven't been on all week. I said last week I'd give you a week. And I didn't come on all week. And then tonight I was like, I can't be bothered. But then I thought I'd better because I can't do tomorrow because I've got my Samsung gig. So
I appreciate it, Rickard.
My one day of the week for you.
You know, I'm about being consistent. Anyway, you've got a lot of things that people pay you. I unfortunately don't. So I've got the luxury.
Yeah, you don't have any other things in your life, eh?
No, this is it. And this saves me from loneliness and deep depression. So thank you very much. You know, when I'm left alone in a room and I start thinking, it's the worst thing.
Oh, no.
Next minute, I'll start drinking.
Low carb beers, though? 0% maybe?
Just about.
I do love a Heineken Zero, though. Like, I drink those all the time. They're very good.
Are you selling us something, or is this your real opinion?
No, it's my real opinion. Because, like, you know when you want a cold drink and you want something that's fizzy, but I don't drink Coke or fizzy drinks, and like a Heineken Zero tastes like a beer, but it's basically got no calories in it.
Right.
You're just drinking something that's cold and fizzy that tastes good. That's not Coke, but it's not water.
No, I like it. Yeah. I really do. Except the taste, for me personally. But, you know.
Because you like actual beer.
Yeah, I do like actual beer, but I don't like it all the time. I will have a beer just on occasion now. Before I used to be a gigantic pisshead. Anyway, moving on. We've got an exciting show tonight. We've got a wrestler. We've got someone from the WWF.
We do have someone from the WWF, but the World Wildlife Fund, not the World Wrestling Federation. We don't have Hulk Hogan.
No. And then also we've got another fella called Nigel. Now, I can't quite remember Nigel. Nigel was in the wheelchair, a really good guy. And how do you know Nigel?
He was always at the gigs, you know. He used to hang out at Conch, which was a little like cafe record store next to George FM. So basically, anytime you went to George, he was sitting outside. And I think once you see him, you'll remember who he is. But you're terrible.
Is he a bald guy?
He always had a cap on. He might not have much hair. I don't know.
Gosh, it's all coming back to me now. I think we do know
but Nigel. You're terrible with people.
Yeah.
Like, you don't remember anybody, so...
Right. One person I do remember, though, is our fact checker for tonight's show. And boy, this guy is an advocate for all the great stuff. Let's catch up with him now. Welcome, Benny Mack, fact checker.
Benny's got pants on.
Me too, Benny. Wow, look.
I was meditating, bro. You just took me out of a deep meditative state.
I apologise. Look at you looking slippery like an eel. Where are you? In a kind of a wagon from Yellowstone?
You're exactly right. I'm in the back of a gypsy wagon. They cleared the horses out especially for me. Still smells like dung in here, but we've managed to force a sauna into the space. I've got this eucalyptus oil, and I've also got this.
Do you have to have your legs open so wide? I suppose that's my next question.
Of course you do. That's where a lot of the air flows from the groin and also from the face. Fantastic. And also when you do this, your legs can't get much wider than that, can they, Mr. Kirby? And then,
No. Look at
you. Okay, I'm stuck here. I'm stuck in this position.
Fantastic.
I'm going to call a physicist.
Okay, thank you. We'll check in with you very shortly. Benny Mack, everyone, sauna advocate. Here's our special guest checking. How are you, Livia? You okay?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. You're not in a sauna, I see. You got all your clothes on.
No, I do have all my clothes on, but I used to have a sauna. They're fantastic.
And did
Mac?
You get down with the eucalyptus?
Yep, that too.
Fantastic.
Very good for the sinuses.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. That'll clear you up. This is Rickard. I don't know if you've met Rickard.
Hello.
Yeah. Not to be confused with Carol Hirschfeld. She often gets that. So.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I heard she got a job at Today FM, that new talk radio station, being an executive producer on Tova O'Brien's new show.
She'll be good at that.
I think so. Hey, so anyway, the big boss lady, the CEO, the big cheese of the WWF.
I just make the coffee.
Come on now. How's it all going? Oh, remind everybody what the WWF is and what,
Well, I completely agree with you. When I introduce myself, most of the time I say, CEO of WWF, and they look at me and go, wrestling. Yeah. So I completely agree with you. It happens to me all the time. And then all I have to say is, no, the panda. And people, yes, the panda conservation organization. Okay, yeah, I've got you now. But yeah, still to this day, people will revert to wrestling first, even though it's World Wildlife Fund. So yeah, that's all good. So we look after the environment and obviously try and make all of us live in harmony with nature so that we can be thriving as a human species, not just nature.
What are you saving? What's the top of the list? Sorry, Cara. What's the top of the list?
Top of the list at the moment is the entire planet, is nature. Basically, at the top of the list is nature, but what we're focusing on as part of nature in New Zealand is our oceans. And a lot of people don't realize how critical they are. I mean, me for one, before I joined WWF, I had no clue that the ocean provided every second breath we take. So I grew up with the trees, the Amazon, oxygen. That's where you get all your oxygen from. That's how we breathe. But actually, every second breath is thanks to the ocean. And what we're doing to the ocean at the moment is suffocating it. So we're very much working on the ocean to make sure that it's there, not just for the species that live in it, but for us as a species as well.
I think that maybe in New Zealand, because we are so used to being near the water and it's an integral part of like how we identify as Kiwis, we take for granted how shitty we are to it. Yeah. Not me personally, but the amount of rubbish that gets left, and we just take it for granted that it's always going to be there and it's always going to be awesome, and then one day it's going to be too late. So with the state of climate change and all of just this mass consumerism, how difficult is it for you guys at the WWF to try and contain all the stuff that we're causing right now?
Hugely difficult. To be honest, I think that what you said is so true. We are an island nation, right? So we live next to the water, and what we see is this beautiful shimmering light, and we play in the water, and everything's cool, everything's great. And Benny Mack is having fun in his sauna.
He's in his ice bath now. Sorry.
In the ice bath.
Okay, we'll leave him all of this.
So we do think of the ocean as this beautiful, magical place, and yet we don't see underneath to go, oh, it's really in dire straits. So, there are scientists that are saying there'll be more plastics than fish, in the ocean in years and years and years to come. But we are literally suffocating it with plastics. The Bruder's whale, which we're working on in the Hauraki Gulf, which is a beautiful 15-meter whale that is a resident of the Hauraki Gulf, like it doesn't migrate. So it's the neighbor. It's neighbor to everyone in Auckland, and there's only 135 of them left. And scientists are saying every mouthful that they eat of zooplankton, which they feed off, has 25,000 microplastics in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I just sorry,
microplastics are in everything too, right? Like the body wash, like when we wash our clothing. Like I didn't know that when you wash your clothes, you're letting plastic out into the waterways.
We eat a credit card of plastic a week.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Yeah, no, it's science. It's in the fish. It's exactly what you're saying, Cara. It flows out into the water. It's in the water. It just goes through at the moment. Everything's connected. So
Why do you put that? I mean, why do you put that on social media? Throw that on TikTok.
We did a whole.
Most people know this thing.
Last year. Yeah, we need to do it again. But it's sick. And so the overfishing is another one in the oceans. So when you take out too much fish, whether it's recreational or commercial fishing, doesn't matter. When you take out too much fish, you unbalance the entire ecosystem. So, for example, in the Hauraki, crayfish are functionally extinct now.
Wow.
Which is so sad. It's like, what is going on? So,
don't you go after the big fishery guys, the corporations, after that, and slow those guys down, throw an extra tax on the top?
Well, look, we're working with them. There's quite a few fishers who, they don't want to see fish disappear. It's their livelihood, right? So we're working with them to try and look at what does sustainable fisheries look like, how to ensure that there are fish for generations to come. I mean, a lot of the fishers, you know, have these boats that they pass on generation to generation. So they don't want to see the fish go. But we do need to work with them, because there are some that, you know, like all industries, some really don't care. Some do, some don't. So we do need to work with them.
Is the fishing industry in New Zealand as bad? Like, there's that, you know, there's that documentary. I want to say it's called Fishspiracy, but I don't think it's called that. Seaspiracy. That's it. We watched that, and it was pretty horrific. But I kept telling my kids, because they were like, "I'm never eating tuna ever again."
Yeah.
Is New Zealand's fishing industry as bad as the people that we saw on that doco, or are we a bit separate and a little less hard out than they are?
So firstly, on the doco, look, I think, you know, the doco itself was a really interesting documentary that put the problem firmly on the table. However, some of the science and some of the claims that were made were definitely not true. And in fact, some of the researchers quickly retracted and went, no, that's not what we meant by what was said in the documentary. So you just got to be really careful about what was put on the table. However, our fishing industry compared to the world is actually not a bad fishing industry. The quota management system that we have here in New Zealand has been a game changer, you know, when it was brought to life in the 1980s. It does need to evolve, though. We are in a different space than the 1980s now, especially with climate change. So it does need to look to evolve. But we are, you know, there. But my question would be, does it matter how we compare to the rest of the world? What is the right thing to do for the ocean to survive? Because if everyone's bad and we're just the best of the bad, you know, it really won't help us in the long run.
Do you think you've you know, big job is the ocean? Do you think you're taking on something that's way too big, and then it's like, you know, no?
Because I think we all, especially as a Pacific Island nation, we all live next to the ocean, and I think once people understand and care, then they'll change their behavior. And it's all those little micro changes in behavior that if you pull them all together, they do make a fundamental shift. Look at the single-use plastics no longer in shopping centres, etc. You know, and soon we won't have single-use plastics wrapping around food. All of those changes add up to a hell of a lot of less plastic in the ocean.
It's kind of, we swapped them out for throwing masks on the ground now, aren't we? Masks.
Yeah, that is an issue that we are absolutely concerned about. But, you know, we are dealing with a pandemic, so we do need to think through what we can do. And I'm sure there'll be some innovative people that will be able to recycle those masks into something.
So what are some of the changes that we can make every day to help the ocean? I know there are lots of companies trying to get on board with this, like Adidas have Parley, where they do the runs and they make the shoes out of ocean plastic, and lots of companies are getting on board with this. But what can we do every day just to make those small changes?
Yeah, no, great question. The first thing to do is really ask yourself the question, do I need that thing that was most probably built from plastic? Because what we want to do is actually stop the purchase of something that you actually probably don't really need in the first place. If you do need it and it is in plastic, then how do you reuse it? How do you, you know, make it last a long time, not just a few months or whatever? And then if you can't reuse it, then recycle it. But people at the moment still think, oh, I'll just buy the plastic because I can recycle it. But actually, you know, even in New Zealand, a lot of stuff is not, we can't actually recycle it. We don't have the plants here to recycle it. So the best thing to ask yourself is, as a purchaser, do I really need this? Do I really need to buy this thing? Plastic.
What about cheap vacuum cleaners? You can pick up a vacuum cleaner for $30. I mean, it goes about 5 times, and you bin it.
And then you bin it.
So many vacuum cleaners on the side of the road. You know that type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So those sorts of things, they don't just disappear. People think, oh yeah, they'll just go away. They don't. They end up in a landfill, which then leaks into the soil, which then the soil runs into the stream, which then goes into the ocean. Like, it's all connected. So
and also tarpaulins is another one. You notice tarpaulins got cheaper and more miserable. I mean, you can rip a tarpaulin in seconds. Yeah. And like, they all go in the bin. Like, oh well, they're going to be the recycling guy. Good luck.
Yeah, I don't see it, and that's the issue with the ocean as well. I don't see what happens underneath, so it's not happening. You know. And
yeah. So how long till we've wrecked it? Like,
well, you know
how long have we got to try and fix this situation?
We at WWF call this the decade of action. So by 2030, if we haven't significantly shifted the way we live on this planet, and that includes climate change, so everything to do with climate change, if we haven't really significantly changed by 2030, we are going to be in a very significantly different planet Earth. So we have to do everything.
I heard you can use a KiwiSaver to book a ticket to Mars or something. You know, Elon's working on a massive. We're going to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, there's no planet B yet. There's no planet B yet.
It is a bit of a worry. We're stuck here in our lifetime. This is all we've got.
Yeah, but there is hope. So I do see a lot of really fabulous, innovative people that are creating new things that you go, wow, God, imagine that at scale. You know, even in the fishing industry, there's some brilliant individuals that I've come across that have done, for example, fishing directly to the restaurants. So the restaurants order and go, actually, for tonight, I need about 5 terakihi and 10 snappers. That's all I need. And so he collects all this is a guy in up north. He collects all the restaurant orders and goes out fishing. Comes back, gives it directly to the restaurant. It's fresh. There is no waste, and it's all done sustainably. So imagine that at scale, and we can do that at scale ultimately one day with data and technology and what have you. But imagine that sort of thing at scale. How cool would that be? So I think there's still hope, and our Director General and David Attenborough also say something similar, which is we are the generation that stuffed this up, right? We really are. But we are also the last generation to fix it, and we can fix it. So
I was at Yumcha. Sorry, everyone. I was at Yumcha the other day, and then you know how those what the squid? What are they? Are they like? Is that an octopus we're talking about?
The squid. Yep. It's like an octopus. Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. And so I was thinking, gee, boy, I see squid happening everywhere. It's all over the place. Poor squid. Yeah. How does squid suffer happening every Chinese restaurant in town? Not only Chinese restaurants, but, those who serve Yumcha.
Yeah.
I mean, are we farming those? Or are we, how's that happening?
Squid down south and, and all food on this planet has a consequence, so fishing squid or fishing fish or whatever, it'll have a consequence. So there are seals that interact with, in the squid fishing area. And again, there are inventions around how to make sure that the seals don't end up in the nets with the squid. There's a lot of work being done in that space. We're pushing obviously for a hell of a lot more work because even one seal in a net is not good enough. So really trying to reduce that, and birds for that matter. We are the seabird capital of the world. So we want to reduce the bycatch. A lot of birds are dying out there, but there's no food on this planet that doesn't have a consequence, right? So farmers, beef, even plant foods has consequences. So we have to look at how do we make this happen in a sustainable way.
Do people want to go to dinner with you because you're pointing all these things out? Well, okay, well, there are consequences. That's the one.
No, the good news is I love food.
Okay.
I love food. I'm half French, so raised by
right.
a lot
you
of
like the good stuff.
Good homemade food, but also sustainably cooked. So Grandma had the chooks, and she used to literally cook them herself, and then use the whole chicken. And keep the bones for stock. Like that sort of eating is where we should be going back to, rather than I'm just going to rip open a packet, throw it in the microwave, throw the plastic in the bin. How was that processed? How many sugars and palm oil things and whatever in there? That's wrong. But
can you tell us a bit about the whale tail art trail that you've got going on at the moment, which is to kind of raise awareness about restoring the modi of the ocean, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the whole piece around how do we get, New Zealanders to understand and then care, the Hauraki Gulf is a microcosm of the ocean. It's a really interesting space where everything that happens in the ocean is happening in the Hauraki Gulf. And so we really wanted to do something and bring it to life. And so what we thought was this Wild and Arts Trail, which is a beautiful arts trail that celebrates artists from all around Aotearoa, as well as marine conservation. And so what it is 81.8 metre whale tails. So you can imagine, a tail of a whale. And it's based on the Bruder's whale, so the beautiful Hauraki Gulf resident. And it tells the story of, or it tells 80 different stories, but basically of marine conservation, what's happening to our oceans, what's happening in the Hauraki Gulf, and how we can absolutely save and turn around the Hauraki Gulf and eventually turn around the wider ocean for not only the beautiful Bruder's whale and all the species in the Hauraki Gulf, but, you know, for us as a species. And so these tales, the 80 of them, they're peppered all around Tamaki Makaurau, from, you know, north, south, east, west, all over the place, even one on Waiheke Island.
That's lovely.
Yeah, and the artists, now that, I mean, to be honest, that was the biggest surprise for me and really humbling. The passion, the energy that all these
wasted paintbrush.
You should see it. So you can go around with an app. So you download the app on Google Store or the App Store, and you go around and you plug in and you can collect the tails. And every time you collect a tail, you get a reward. So sometimes it's a free coffee from a certain, you know, place,
cool.
or ice cream, or 10% off Bed Bath & Beyond or Tile Depot. You know, there's brilliant sponsors that have come on board with us to help raise the awareness, and they all tell their story at the tail. And so you can, you know, interact with it. And so some people actually go around and try and collect all 80. And there's some great prizes, like the ability to go on a whale and dolphin safari for free in the Hauraki Gulf to try and go see the Bruder's whales.
That's awesome.
So it's a great joyful way to bring the story to life, rather than a lot of the work that we do is, you know, the sky is falling, and it's well, actually, no, this is a way to bring it to life. And given that we're in the red light in, you know, all around New Zealand, this is probably the single thing you can do in COVID that's completely COVID friendly. So
we've probably actually saved a bit of plastic use, the amount of time we've been in lockdown, eh? Like no one was going out, no one was
a lot of people are eating at home. But
the cool thing about the whale tail trail too is that at the end of it you could purchase one, right? Are you auctioning all the tails off?
Absolutely. So in the last weekend of April, we are bringing them to Silo Park all together, all 80. So people will be able to see all 80 together, which is just brilliant. And then on the 2nd of May, we're going to auction them off. And that money raised will help WWF work in and catalyse some environmental work in the Hauraki Gulf, as well as the broader ocean itself.
What a great idea. I think it's a great idea, especially the whole photo of them with the amp and then win some prizes, like even if it's just a coffee. How cool.
No, it's a lot of fun, and hopefully it'll engage people and tell them the story so that they understand what is happening in their own backyard, not somewhere deep in the ocean. It's actually happening right there. So hopefully that brings it to life. We've also got 90, we call them peppy pods, which are 1 meter little tails, and they've just literally gone out this week to 90 schools around Tamaki Makaurau, and the kids have got a brilliant pack with Project Jonah we've partnered with to talk about the whales, the ocean, and to help teach them. And they get to paint with resin paints the tail. And in March, we're going to bring all the peppy pods out to the trail as well. So people in Auckland will be able to see the peppy pods as well. So, and for those who are not in Auckland, actually, there's a virtual trail that's launching in a week or so's time. We're just fixing up some technology. So you'll be able to get on.
Just quickly, what do you think about someone raised the idea of going to see the whales on jet skis, you know? And,
no, you don't want to.
Because they're plastic? The jet skis are plastic? Or
no, the jet skis noise pollution freaks them out. No. The Bruder's whales are a beautiful, playful, I dub them the panda of the ocean, because they eat a lot and they play and they bask in the sun, and they're very lazy whales. So they're very cool. They're very cool whales. But you don't want to get close to them. They're still, you know, a big marine species, and you can get too close and interact with them and hurt them. So you want to stay away. Follow what the rules of, you know, Maritime New Zealand in terms of the staying away.
I was going to say, did you see that? Didn't the news take it live? Didn't one go into the into where all the ships get tied up? What's that thing downtown? All the marina. I think one was like, or was that a seal? I think it was like a baby whale. Maybe I know the seals down there, but some whale came in and out and swimming. And I think back in the day, one news took it live, and it was like the biggest.
Oh wow! No, I saw the other day that there was an orca, but that was in Golden Bay that came right up close and actually swam with kids on kayaks.
Yeah.
And the kids were freaking out, the poor kids. But the orca was just playing around and checking them out and then went away. So, yeah, no, they're really cool.
What's that thing that you can turn into perfume if they they throw it up and then you strike it?
Ambergris.
Yeah, is that from the whales?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
You make perfume out of it, don't you?
Well,
Sell it for $1 million.
Ambergris, if you find proper whale ambergris, which is, I think, whale vomit, it's worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
You should auction that off.
Quite good at finding it on West Coast beaches. Up in Northland, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I did not know that. So thanks. That's really cool. The other thing I didn't know is the whale poo is hugely important for the ecosystem. It's basically the bottom of the food chain, and everything builds from there. And so by them migrating and pooping all over the world, they actually oxygenate the oceans.
How big is a whale poo, roughly, you know?
Oh, no, but there would be a lot of it.
Yeah.
And they're also a massive carbon sink. You know, they take a lot of carbon and bring it down. So that, they're great for climate change. So we need to do
I just fact checked the ambergris. It's a solid waxy substance originating in the intestine of the sperm whale. It can be used for medicines, potions, spice, and it's to stabilize it in the scented perfumes. Although I don't think many people use it these days. Like it's a bit of an old school thing. That's very.
Have you ever thought, when you hear the news? I've been to a real life whale stranding, and it was one in Dargaville on Bailey's Beach, and it was just horrific. Like the moans, the eyes, the blood walking into the wash of the waves, and is it going to, why can't we do more? Everyone blaming like the local guys who are trying to help this, and then the whale passes, and then no one talks about the burial or the after. I'd like to know what happens when they have to take the tractor or whatever they have to do with the whale after that. It's just so spooky. It's just like it never happened. It all just goes away. And you're going to go, the local iwi, they buried it. Did they? What? Where? In the forest? Why? Sacred? Did I answer all the questions? Probably. But I mean, don't you think it's just we never talk about the afterlife when it comes to whales? And
you're absolutely right. I do know that some of the smaller species of dolphins do get, the scientists come along and actually have to do an autopsy basically on them as well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens to them. You're absolutely right.
I know that usually as well, wherever the whale was stranded, because obviously in Te Ao Māori, whales are tupuna and ancestors. And the local iwi will come and they'll be allowed to harvest bones if they want to, and then they will do their karakia, and then they'll go bury it where they think it should be buried once the scientists have done whatever testing they need to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's my understanding of what happens to them once they've died from stranding.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I mean, whales are an incredibly important piece in Te Ao Māori, and that's how sailors followed them here. Whales also rescued, and so this is our rescued sailors in trouble. So this is our chance to sort of help them and give them a voice.
Give it back.
Yeah, give it back. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Livia. I think you're just one of the best CEOs that's ever happened. You're engaging. We love talking to you. You're passionate about it. Your good ideas are flowing. You're not a wrestler. Bonus.
No. Bonus.
You're saving the whales. So good luck with everything. And I'm going to tour my kids around these whale tails.
Brilliant. Send us some pics.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should buy one for your landscaping business, Thane, and just like plonk it in someone's lawn.
How big are we talking of these whale tails?
They're 1.8 meters. They're about 5'11". They're quite beautiful. They're big. You can check them out. Check out the Facebook or Instagram.
They don't have like a Briscoe's logo all over them and all that kind of stuff, do they?
No sponsors logos. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Some of the artists have signed, delicately where they are, but artists like Weta Workshops, brilliant one under Sky City. It looks like the Lord of the Rings sort of armor.
Oh, that's cool.
Jeff Thompson, completely corrugated iron whale tail, all wrapped up in corrugated.
Cool.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see them, especially because there's so many of them as well. Like, it'd be so interesting to see how so many people interpreted a whale's tail.
Yeah. It's just, and there's one mosaic and there's one filled on plastic that's in the Britomart, and it's just brilliant. Brilliant. Otis Frizzell has got one as well out there. It's just brilliant. There's some really good ones. You'll love some and hate some. I've gone around.
Yeah, exactly. With everything. Thank you so much. Nice talking to you, Livia. All the best. And your last name, how do you pronounce that? Esterhazy.
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 So it's the R like in Māori.
Esterhazy.
Yeah.
You sound like a craft beer. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Give me an Esterhazy immediately. All right, got to go. Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.
Awesome. Lovely to meet you. See ya.
Bye-bye. How about that? Wasn't that good?
Yeah, she was awesome.
She is the ultimate guest. I mean, one, she does all the talking, but she's engaging, and her message was important, which I think.
Yeah, have you spoken to her before?
No, never.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell. You know, you might talk to a CEO and they'll be really stiff, and I'm the CEO. I'm an important guy, and I can't be funny. But she was great. But yeah, also sad that we're fully ruining the ocean, and
scary as well. Scary.
Have a shitty world for our children to live in if we don't stop over-consuming.
Correct. My nana used to wear a top like hers when she was cleaning. You know, like a little pinny type thing.
A little vest. It was very cute.
Yeah, very cute. And you know, she didn't rock up with a CEO power suit or anything like that. You know.
Well, you would expect that someone who's the CEO of the World Wildlife Fund would be pretty down to earth.
Well, here's my thing. I either think you're on in the CEO gauge, like she was right in the middle, cool, but you've got the power suit. Then the other end, you've got like a Levi, a denim jacket with a whole lot of badges on there, you know, and like Save the Whales and all the paraphernalia and all that type of thing. And maybe she's wearing glasses that are two big whales and thinking, oh God, save the whale ladies here. But she was fantastic.
She was awesome.
Yeah. Hey, are you ready for a little bit of news?
Yes. Can you guys just do that? My kids come in before. They need me to go and do something. I don't know. So you do some news and I'll be back in a sec.
Can you be back with the exoskeleton guy?
Yeah, I will. I'm just going to see if my children are okay, and then I will come back.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay.
News girl, Selena, how are you?
Good evening. Well, thank you. Well.
What do you got for us? What's making news?
A Jetstar flight from Auckland to Wellington on February 1 has been linked to the COVID-19 outbreak. Anyone who was on JQ 259 between 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. seated in rows 1 to 4 is deemed a close contact of a COVID case and asked to self-isolate now. Okay. And then get a test on day 5.
Not bad. Yep, like it. What else you got up the sleeves?
Also, have you been hanging out to go overseas? And now's the time to get planning because, if you're happy to cooperate with the associated risks, the removal of the requirement for most people to enter managed isolation and
quarantine. Dumped. I love it.
Yeah, the border.
Ask me if I'm going overseas.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to go overseas? Like it's been so long. It's actually been pretty cool being here.
Yeah, but I'm off to Brisbane. I'm going to go to
when?
I don't know when I can get over there.
It's lovely there. I love walking around there in the evening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Balmy. Restaurants are buzzing. Yeah.
And people will go out in like bikinis and stuff just for dinner. It's like, what's going on? Crazy.
Yeah, it's so loose over there, right?
Yeah. What else you got? Last story, what's happening?
Oh, well, this is a nice, lovely story. This month, it happens once a year, a natural wonder in Yosemite National Park. It's called the Fireball. So hundreds of photographers, they gather Yosemite Valley. It's near, what is it? Capitan. Yeah, it's the Capitan Cliff. Right. Anyway, so this is what happens. The sunlight, it's happened once a year, sunlight streams through thin silver of a waterfall, turning it molten orange. The cascade of red hot embers falling down the cliff looks like a glowing waterfall of light to the onlookers below. So when the conditions are just right, no need to alter the saturation in the editing process. because it really is that dramatic and unbelievable.
Fantastic. I must check it out. I'll Google it immediately. Thank you very much, Selena. Really appreciate your contributions tonight. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you real soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Piling through the contributors, next in line, sitting from his luxury pad there, Remuera. Welcome back, Benny Mack. Fact checker, how are you?
Great to be back. Great to be back. Exciting times. The value of this place just went up 300 grand in the last week. So I am sitting pretty. I'm not going to be going back to work anytime soon.
Fantastic.
And I'm exciting times indeed.
Yeah. So what did you take? Are you now that you're all limber and softened up, are you going to go out and see the whale tails?
Oh yeah, I'm going to go and check out every single one of them, and I'm excited to learn some stories about our beautiful Hauraki Gulf.
Shit, that sounds great. Okay, mate, nice talking to you. All the best. See you, pal.
Make sure you hydrate.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's our special guest talking with us, headphones and in the dark, Nigel Erb. Welcome to the show, mate. How are you?
In the dark. Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I remember you now. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
How's it
We're
going?
older and wiser.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we're not.
Hey,
Okay.
could I be wrong, and I don't want to be insensitive, did I know you when you could walk?
Yes.
Yes.
In the George FM beginning days. And all that.
That's right. And you used to come up to the studio and watch some shows, and I'd see you on the street, you'd ride a bike past, and that's kind of like, that's where I left you off. I don't know you.
Yeah, so, something like that.
Okay.
I've been around, mate. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely you have. Absolutely.
No, I was going to say, I was like, you'll know him as soon as you see him.
I know
like,
you, Karen.
I know. It's like, always outside Conch, always at the gigs. It's always around. That's Nige.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's happening?
How are you anyway?
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Excellent.
Is it quite dark, is it?
Oh, yeah.
My place is so dark.
You get the moody lighting going on there.
This is my little ashram. Yeah, this is my little ashram. So I do all my stuff here, or a lot of it. Yeah, a lot of my rehab.
Right.
Yeah, how's that going? Because a while back you had a give a little for an exoskeleton to help.
Yeah. So that was 5 years ago. I didn't quite make it to the facility that had it. You have to go to a rehab facility, not in this country, but in another country, and that was Czech Republic. So we raised quite a lot of money, did a lot of things, but it wasn't quite enough for me to do what I wanted to do at the rehab thing. And I used the exoskeleton once just to trial it out, and it's amazing. And it would have been a really good tool for me to use to, make myself a little bit better and even make myself walk. But we didn't quite get there, so I had to rejig my ideas, as you do. And
can I ask, how did you end up not walking? What happened?
So it was a spinal cord stroke. So it's like a stroke, but it's not in your brain; it's in your spine. Wow. So basically, to me it was like electric shock down my legs, and I thought there was something strange, but I didn't know what it was. And eventually, we had to ring for an ambulance, and it only took 3 or 4 minutes, and I wasn't walking, and I haven't walked since. But so what happened in the beginning was, from about my waist down, nothing really, nothing worked. So from that day till now, I've gained probably 3/4 of my kind of walking ability. But I can stand, hold on to things. I'm kind of at the baby stage.
Right. Okay. And have you did you think about giving up and going, fuck it, I'm going to be in a wheelchair, that's my lot?
No, because I keep on getting little bits better. Little things keep happening. I get a little bit more movement, or something else starts working, and so you just keep going. Yeah, plus, for me, it was never, you're never going to walk again. It was always, we don't know. So in the we don't know category, it's like, I'm going to walk again. So it takes a long time, though, these things, or can do.
And what's the support been like? Obviously, you didn't get the exoskeleton.
So in the beginning,
offers as a rehab?
In the beginning, you get all the normal support, which is physiotherapy, things like that. But it's only for a limited time. And then after a while, they decide that that's probably where you're going to be at, and they'll kind of leave you to it, more or less. So if you wanted other extra things, it's really on your back. You have to pay or organize or find, more things to help you, or more physio, or
yeah. Can you wiggle your toes type thing, or can you?
Yeah, totally. The feelings in my legs are really weird. It's kind of numb, pins and needles. I think it really helps that I can feel all these things, because some people don't feel anything after it's happened to them. So I've always had these feelings, although they're really weird. And it's like my skin is like Chinese burns. And you have a Chinese Chinese burn. That's what my skin feels like all the time. Wow. So it's like burning. Yeah.
Not so have you got a subscription? Have you got a prescription for?
So yeah, you're on painkillers a lot. Although I've stopped using most of the time. I just put up with the pain, really. There's painkillers, but it's not a good thing to be using painkillers.
Marijuana, surely you qualify.
Actually, that doesn't really work for me.
Right.
It really doesn't. As a painkiller, it's not really that good. It's probably better sticking with what I have, paracetamol and all that sort of thing.
Right.
But for neurological pain, I'm not really sure whether it's going to be the one. But I just put up with it, I suppose.
How much is an exoskeleton?
About $100,000 or something. But it's not only that, you need a whole infrastructure to support it. You need people trained to use it, physiotherapists. You need it to be in a facility you can go to. You can't really just have one at home. It's not really like that right now.
Not like Iron Man.
Nah, but in time, in fact, we're not far away from it. You'll see people with parts of them on their bodies, supporting their bodies. And pretty soon, I wouldn't be surprised if you see someone walking down the street in one. Yeah. It's not too far.
Are you saying if you get the suit, you have to live in a special suit-ready little apartment or facility? And
we're talking in the future, really. Otherwise, you're going to a facility to use it for rehab.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So you put it on for an hour.
Right. Okay. I'm got it completely wrong. I'm thinking
basically, it's like a robot. You step in, you sort of go into it, you strap onto it. It's all computerized. They can operate it, but you are basically operating it by how much you push into it and use it, and it'll just know all that stuff. And it's interesting. I mean, they have it all around the world.
In New Zealand?
No, not really. We've got a couple of semi-okay ones. There's one New Zealand one that's made called the Rex. That's
cool.
Quite good for rehab. Some people use it. Do you know Brad Smeal? Brad Smeal?
Yeah.
He uses one for rehab. I know he does. And I used it a couple of times, but it's not really going to be any good for me. It's quite limited. The one that I used is from America, and it's I actually went to the factory in San Francisco to check it out, and also to talk to the guy who sort of organizes them around the world. Sort of, I don't even know what you call them, some director. And I had a look around the factory and things like that. That was really cool. But you can't have it down here until we have infrastructure. It'll have to be repaired all the time.
Oh, right.
There'll be replacement parts. You have to have a whole thing. They don't even have them in Australia, I don't think.
Right.
Wow. You'd think that we just have one by now.
Yeah, well, it's all this infrastructure stuff and all the training for the physios and all the cost of the machines and it's.
Nigel, when you dream, do you dream that you're walking or you dream you're in a wheelchair?
Yeah, funny you should say that. I had a dream last night. I often have dreams. My funniest one is I dream that I'm out and about around town, like I'm often, if people know me. And then I'm walking around, and then all of a sudden I'm going, Jesus, where did I put my wheelchair? Wow. Oh, I better go and find it. So I spend that half of the dream finding it, sort of thing.
Wow.
So it's quite weird, but it's quite cool. Yeah, so I had one of those last night. Those funny little dreams. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when those dreams that you really think you can feel everything, and it's like, wow, this is incredible. And then you remind yourself that
I've honestly thought that it was real and I was walking. Yeah. And I think that's really good. I think that's really, really a good sign. So, and
you're manifesting it.
Yeah, it's a bit sad when you wake up, though.
Oh.
It's like
welcome back, Nigel.
Yeah, the real world. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever forgotten and just kind of like swung your legs out and then gone to stand up and?
Well, I can do lots of things right now. I can actually stand and hold on to things. I can step onto sort of I crawl upstairs at the moment. Is what I'm doing right now. Like a little baby. I'm kind of at the baby stage where they crawl around and grab hold of things and get themselves upright, standing up against a chair or something like that. That's what I do. So I've advanced a lot. Yeah.
We're all the same size sitting down, though, aren't we? You know, kind of height-wise.
Yeah. I hate sitting down now. I hate sitting in that chair. Yeah. Right. It makes me really, really sore and uncomfortable. I like to be straight, you know, like standing is really, really good for you. Sitting is not.
Yeah. Sitting all day would be a nightmare, but
horrible.
It's your nightmare, unfortunately. It's terrible. I don't know. I don't think I could. You know what? I think I could cope, and you cope with any kind of trauma that's placed in front of you. But I love your attitude; seems very positive, and you're not giving up, which is marvelous. Because who knows, right? You could
especially
roll
these
into
days.
bed, and then the next day you're going to get a new movement or new something.
Exactly. There's a whole other thing to it as well. It's like another life. Yeah. So you have to adapt and accept it. You know, otherwise you'll be miserable.
Are you on Tinder or anything like that? What are you getting out?
Well, I've kind of had my thing on Tinder, but it's impossible really because it's too much to. Yeah. It's too much to explain. It's too much.
Yeah. I bet it is.
I don't do it. I meet a lot of other people, you know.
Yeah.
Normally at a bar or at a club or whatever.
Yeah, there's been much of that going on lately with the lockdown.
No, not at all. In fact, it's affected my rehab. I haven't been back to the gym for 6 months. I have a personal trainer, Dan Rivers, amazing personal trainer at Les Mills, Kirby Pass. We've been working together for 4 years, say twice a week for about an hour each time. And I've just advanced hugely through working with him. And I've actually got I've got like a little team of people that help me, that I pay for.
You were always buff anyway, weren't you? You were toned as all hell.
I don't know, was it?
Yeah.
I'm more buff now. I'm an animal now. I'm an animal now.
Wow.
No, I've worked hard and my body has changed and it has to. Yeah. But I sort of look at the whole thing, the whole body approach, you know, my diet, the exercise, yoga, meditation, lots of things. You need everything happening to the max. You know,
I've got to say, since this has happened,
I've even quit alcohol.
Oh, really? That's well done.
Yeah.
Since this has happened, have you become a nicer person, do you think?
Or
you changed? I don't know, saying you're a bad person.
I've definitely changed. It makes you change because I hate asking for things and I hate asking for help. And that was a big thing. Now I have to ask for help, you know. So that's a big thing. And just with people, it's a different thing meeting people. It's a different thing being out in public. Yeah. Not that it's that bad, but you have to adapt and realize what's going on, you know.
Which I guess it's a good way. The way that you were always still out and we'd see you at events and stuff. Because I imagine if you didn't have those kind of support systems and people you could ask for help and people that you can go out with and stuff, it could get really depressing and lonely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm really lucky. I have a lot of really good friends. Yeah, I mean, I do. So I can't imagine if you don't have a good supportive community, good community support, it's really tough. I mean, you'll be basically sitting at home.
Nigel, do you still go shoe shopping?
Yeah, I do actually. I love shoes.
You still gotta wear shoes.
Yeah, I've got to still wear shoes. I still go clothes shopping.
Yeah, you got to, but I mean, like, you're not getting as much wear and tear, like, as a, different,
Oh,
They
last.
still look really good for a long time.
That's right. They last for ages.
Not scuffed and shitty looking.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, mate, what can we do and how can we help? Are we fundraising? Are we just...
I don't want to fundraise ever again, to be honest. I find a way of organising these things. I have a lot of support, as I say, from my friends. They put a lot of input into my life, and that's brilliant. And I have a regular kind of routine of rehab, with these people. In fact, I just had some body work done this afternoon, which was pretty amazing, with Jaden. She's been with me a couple of years now. Sort of once a week or usually something like that. But yeah, I just got to, do it on my own, really. I mean, there is some help, obviously I'm on a benefit. I'm on a disability benefit. So, that's what, but I did work for a brief time for a couple of years, about 5 years ago, but nothing at the moment. But a part-time job, a well-paid part-time job, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made a conch?
Conch?
Yeah.
Conch had a fire, eh? Just about burnt down. Yeah, their whole back oven caught fire and they're rebuilding.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy down there. Yeah, that was recently.
Really? Oh, my God. I had no idea.
So, more problems. Yeah.
Now, hey, we've got another video. We've got a video here, I believe. I'm going to try and play it out. This was, can you tell us what's happening? I think it's a video you sent or something like that.
This is something that Benny filmed, Mr. Mack.
Right. Okay.
It was actually because I was thinking of getting into, acting or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Benny, how are you, mate?
How you doing? Nice to see you, buddy. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, nice to see you. Thank you. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Nice
We'll
little show you got going on.
Soon.
Yeah, we should. It's been ages.
Yeah, bro.
So he did a really cool video for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Should we have a little bit of a watch, guys?
It tells you all about it.
It was kind of like Nigel's story is so intricate and he gets asked sort of, I think, the same questions all the time. So I thought, why don't we just make like a 2-minute video where you pretty much tell the story from beginning to end, and then you can just hold that up and just say, watch this, here's the link.
What a great idea. Have I asked questions that you always get asked before? Or?
Yeah, kind of, I suppose. There's nothing I haven't been asked. Yeah.
All right,
including does it work?
I was going to ask that, but I didn't want anyone to say, he hasn't changed one iota. Yeah. But does it work? All right, and let's watch the video.
Of course.
Remarkably well.
Yeah. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Nigel Erb. I'm from Auckland, New Zealand. I suppose you're wondering why I'm in a wheelchair or how long I've been in a wheelchair. I haven't always been in a wheelchair. It's been almost 10 years now. And my story is kind of a bit crazy, as life is. 10 years ago, I was in London starting a new life, what I thought was a new life, my new career, my new goals, new place to live. But sometimes things don't work out. Standing there in the hostel, sorting my clothes out. It's been a year in London, time to sort of get into life, and bam, had a stroke on my spine, spinal cord stroke, so pretty rare. 3 minutes later, couldn't walk, haven't walked since. Doctors, well, they don't know, they didn't really know. It's quite a rare thing, is spinal cord. For me, I was going to walk, but it's time to get up and walk almost. I've been working hard on my body, and yeah, we're going to get there pretty soon one day. I've always believed I could walk again, so for me is physiotherapy, the gym with my personal trainer twice a week. I have bodyworks, a meditation person that helps me. I do a lot of yoga. Meditation is really
the center point. And for the future, I see myself not very far away from getting up and walking. It's been amazing at least last year or so. And it's really positivity, you know, just concentrate on what you believe, you know. So really that is life. Just do what you believe in, what your dreams are, follow them. Have at least one more dream and just one dream work out. So yeah, you know, belief, breathe.
How cool was that? Very cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. What a nice thing for you to do, Benny, make that video professionally shot. I mean, streaming it back was a bit hard, but it looked great.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it was good. It was nice just to spend some time with Nigel. I think we shot that over about an hour or so, and you're very natural on screen, and who knows, we might be able to get you to roll into Shortland Street or some other place, man.
Yeah, I'm still quite keen on the acting, but I really need acting lessons. So.
I mean, if you look carefully, I mean, side by side, if I lost the beard, I could play you in a movie. So.
Yeah, true that, eh?
No, same
here.
But
I mean, if you were going to make a movie about your life, you wouldn't pick Thane, right? Who would you pick?
No, I don't.
Hey, mate, thank you very much, Nigel. We must away, we're about to finish, but we really appreciate it, and I'm really good to know your story.
I couldn't quite sort out the technicals, but that's all good.
All good, mate.
Yeah.
We got the story out, and that's what I wanted, so fantastic.
Really
appreciate it.
Well.
All good. All the best.
All right, mate. See you soon.
Yeah. Awesome. Lovely to see you.
Cheers, buddy.
Lovely.
I knew you'd know him as soon as you saw him.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, this guy. Wow. We're killing it. This guy. I'm so glad we had him on the show, which is bloody good. Yeah. Any last words?
Somebody smashed my car windscreen this week. My back windscreen. I was out walking, doing some fitness, came back window smashed. Which was unfortunate considering last week the pheasant flew through my window and fucked that up. Yeah,
it's funny you say that, because Thane was actually saying last week that your car was actually possessed.
Yeah, I think it is. But the amount of stuff that has happened to that car is actually nuts. Like, I think...
Do you think, Cara, for 1 second, this could be a wacky George FM breakfast stunt? There's video cameras everywhere.
Because you know that this had been a big thing when I was on George Breakfast. Every week I'd come in and be like, some kids smashed my mirrors off. Now I've got a door handle that's a different color from my car because someone tried to break into it. The doors filled up with water. I hit those potholes on Universal Drive and broke all my tires. Somebody crashed into it when I was at the Music Awards at Spark Arena and drove away and smashed all my lights. Like, whoever owned this car before me, I mean, I got it when they'd only done 20,000 Ks. Whoever had it for those 20,000 Ks, I don't know. They cursed it somehow.
Maybe they did some occult shit in there, like some sacrifices, or moved some like bodies around or something.
Oh gosh, I know. I really need a new car, but you know, it's fine. It'll go till it dies, or I die, and maybe actually I don't want to say that.
I was actually oh, sorry. You know how I live and travel in a motor vehicle? Well, I was actually at one occasion, someone actually bottled the front windscreen of my vehicle while I was in it, smashed the front windscreen.
Wow.
And it turned into a huge debacle. Of course, the police were called.
Was this guy out of it, or what's the deal?
I believe he was totally smashed. I couldn't actually find the guy. There was a lot of drunks in the vicinity. I did actually reach out the window to one gentleman asking for help on identifying the guy. He spewed drunken abuse at me, so I promptly slapped him across the face and then left the vicinity.
How much breezier is it driving without a windscreen or just big holes in it? Risky.
Oh yeah, just the sort of the shards of glass coming into your eyes. Oh, it's crunchy.
Without my back window, I'm going away this weekend. And we weren't sure if we could get it fixed. And Justin, my partner, was like, "Just drive down there with no back window. Like, it'll be sweet, won't it?" I was
boy.
"Is that illegal?" But then, lucky, like I rang and left messages for all like your standard auto glass repairers, like Novus and Smith and Smith and all of that. None of them called me back. And then two guys, James and Hayden, maybe from out Papatoetoe, Jag Auto Repair Glass, rang me back, came and did it. $150, sweet as. See you later. Half an hour.
And they came and did it for $150.
Yeah, I mean, I had already purchased the window from the Mazda spare part down on Railside Ave. They drove out here, $150.
Hey, where did you buy this car from? Was it on Trade Bean? Did you go to a reputable,
No, I went to a proper car yard and got it, like a brand new Mazda.
Which one?
Wow.
I can't remember. One in Penrose.
Maybe it was on
citymotorgroup.co.nz.
City Motor Group. Maybe all their cars were sold over an old burial ground or something like that, something spooky.
Maybe it's, you know how that weird shit goes on in Japan? Maybe it was a Japanese import and it had, maybe they'd found it at like that Suicide Forest car park.
No.
I thought you were talking about Godzilla.
Karen thinks it could be true. That's why you're so scared. Read you like
it definitely was like, from Japan. Like it was New Zealand new, but like had done however 20,000 Ks in Japan.
Or it might have even been something more innocent, like the guy who fills up the vending machines with panties,
And what's the show, everybody?
I don't know. Has anybody got a new car for me? Anybody? Car sponsors want to sponsor the show?
Oh yeah, maybe go back to City Motor Group.
Yeah, I'd love to see what they give you for a trade-in on that.
Yeah.
Tell them it's possessed. Tell them it's possessed. Who you are, the stories, and they might even give you a bonus for a good story. Because
no, they won't. They'll say, "Get back in the car and drive it out of here." Right now.
Hey, why don't you put it on Trade Me and kind of like see if you can, sell Kara's ghost car? Maybe one of your old fans or stalkers might want it.
Yeah, we could shoot like a Pimp My Ride video where you point out all the flaws and really sort of sell it.
You could do the same video like you did for Nigel. Hi, I'm Kara.
My car stopped working 10 years ago.
It's possessed.
I mean, I was looking because I was looking on Trade Me, like what I could sell it for. And there's people on there, like my Mazda has only done like 150,000 Ks, right? And I was like, oh, maybe I'll get like whatever, I don't know, sell it for $5,000. There's people on there trying to palm off the same car that's done like 257,000 Ks and they want like $10,000.
Unbelievable. Extraordinary.
Unbelievable.
You know what I always say to people that have like a car that they don't love anymore? I just say, call the broken car company. You might get $500.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I just want to quickly say to Steve McGuinness, were you driving on the Southern this morning early, like 7:30ish? And did you see a red van come past you and give you the hazards? I wonder if it was you. And also, Kiwi Classic with the last message here. Show up pics, I'll buy it.
Ooh. We might have a buyer.
There you go.
Okay, I'll sell it to you for $17,000.
Let's do this. Yeah. Monday's show, let's sell your car. How good would it? Oh, no, it's a holiday on Monday. Tuesday's show, I'll sell your car.
I think it's my birthday on Tuesday.
Oh, Wednesday's show, let's sell your car.
Who knows? It might appeal to someone who dabbles in the occult.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's a black hole.
I only dabble.
Dabble. Yeah, okay. Well, we could try and do that.
Okay.
I guess.
17K. What do we got here? 17K. What a deal.
If it's like cursed and you're into that shit, like 17K is a steal.
Yeah. Hey, what
about you, Selena?
Just quickly on the show, right?
What?
You got a musical artist, Selenya, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's a Kiwi
Yeah.
lady. She's based in Pennsylvania. So she was in sort of the New York area. Now she's in
I wonder
Pennsylvania.
if she has a name. What is
She
her
does.
name?
Miriam Clancy.
There you go.
Oh,
Look her up.
Clancy.
Miriam
And
Clancy.
that's exciting. Now, how about you, Selena? Do you dabble in the occult? And are you looking for an overpriced junk car?
No,
by any
I've
chance?
told you before I don't dabble in such demonic activity.
Oh, jolly well, just checking. Okay, well, that clears things up.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you very
Team.
much, guys. Thank you, Selena. Thank you. And thank you, Cara. Thank you, Benny Mack. We'll see everybody on. Good luck with your Samsung thing at Sky City. I might come in for a gamble tomorrow.
Well, let me know if you do. Andy's is shut down though.
Oh,
I'd say come for a burger, but it's fully closed. It's shut down forever.
What are they putting in there? More gaming machines?
Nothing. They just got a staff shortage, so they had to move the staff around.
Gotcha.
So I'd get a kid's cheeseburger before my broadcast, but can't do that anymore because it's done. So, oh well, if you're coming for a gamble, let me know. My broadcast finishes at 8:30.
All right. Yeah, well done. You watch me play the
Okay.
pokies for a couple of minutes after. See ya.
All right, bye.
Everybody. See ya. Oops. Sorry. I'm sorry again. Bye.